What about my love? Wasn't it enough? Just let me know.
Let's talk about another position on the field of running backs, and it seems like every year we'll get like a brand new exciting quarterback. 2 years before, it's been the Amarion Hampton, Ashton Jeanty, Ollie Gordon before the accident. Like those were the top guys in college football. Like we knew those guys were going to go early, except Ollie Gordon. Again, multiverse, whatever. Now that all those guys are gone, the next question is who's going to take over as like the explosive running back that everybody's talking about. Obviously you have the Kaytron Allens and the Nick Singletons, but another person that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough is Jeremiah Love. Now I know in the college football championship, dude had 4 carries and 3 yards, and that was it. So obviously, you would never see a stat line like that from Hampton, Jeanty, Gordon, anything like that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, could Jeremiah Love be like the next quote unquote Ashton Jeanty? I'm not saying like in contention to beat Barry Sanders' record, but I'm saying be the next big running back, the top name, the one that everybody is just talking about. Kind of looking at the comparisons. Love is 6 foot 206, Jeanty 5'9", 215. So, somewhat similar stature builds. Obviously, Jeremiah Love's got him a bit in height. But you look at it and, his Love's freshman year had 71 carries, not a bunch. But then you look at it in this previous year where he had 163 carries, over 1,100 like rushing yards, 17 touchdowns. Wasn't used a lot in the passing game. And, you're losing out on Riley Leonard as well. So now you have a new quarterback that's coming in. You're going to have to, like, rely a lot on Jeremiah Love. And, it's kind of similar to what Ashton Jeanty's 2023 senior year was. He had 220 carries, 1,300 rushing yards, and 14 touchdowns. Again, Jeremiah Love, 1,100 yards, 17 touchdowns, 163 carries. So while he did lack on the carries, because, Notre Dame they used their second running back a lot more than, Boise State did. It wasn't as much of a big ask for Jeanty, for Love as it would have been for Jeanty. But with the increase of carries, do we think that Jeremiah Love could be the next Ashton Jeanty?
I'm not sure if Jeremiah Love can be the next Ashton Jeanty, but I will give you some interesting facts about Jeremiah Love. He was on a 13 touchdown streak this season. 13 straight games with a touchdown. That's insane. The only time that he didn't have a touchdown was against Ohio State and Georgia when they played them, but proceeded to put a touchdown up, at least on Penn State, in the second round of the college football playoff. But yeah, man, I think, to be honest, if he was going to be anything like one of these Ashton Jeanty type running backs, it's by the touchdown percentage. Now, I don't know if, to be honest, you get that many touchdowns, that means you're a threat anywhere on the field, right? You can run it long. We've seen Jeremiah take one to the house several times.
In the passing game.
Correct. And they don't need to. Literally his best catching game had 57 yards on 3 catches. The rest of them, you see 30, 18, 2. He's not getting a lot of catches. I think he only averaged like 2 catches a game or something like that. So, Riley Leonard was his quarterback. So things, he's going to have to adapt to a brand new quarterback this year. That's going to be a little different unless they decide to do the same things that they did last year, like run the ball heavy right up the gut with a couple tosses and be pressured to put the ball in the end zone in the red zone, right? And that's where he's going to get a lot of his touchdowns. If anything, he might be up there. I could see Jeremiah Love having a 30 touchdown year, being up there with the greats like Monty Ball and the rest of those guys. But outside of that, I don't know if he's going to get the production as a lot of these other guys. Like, let's look at their schedule this year. They play Miami. their first week. I don't know if he's going to be able to put up more than 200 yards against them. Then Texas A&M, he's definitely not. And then you go and beat on Purdue and Arkansas.
Off topic, just because I was curious because we were looking at schedules like way earlier, and Khalid was talking about like, LSU at Aggies, and I was like, didn't he like try to say the same thing with Florida? And it was. And I was like, I wonder what Florida games would be like cool to go to. And I was like, out of curiosity, let's look at the Florida Georgia game. Dear God.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be all right. And then also, a guy that we talked about from time to time, Jadarian Price, like, he was there in that backfield and he was getting a lot of those carries too. And, able to get the 20, 30 yard runs. And so I just wonder what the dynamic of that team is actually going to look like. And I know they got the new freshman running back, but I don't know if he's going to fit in between those two, like Nolan James Jr. He might not be special this year, but next year might be the time where he shines.
Well,
but
that's what Draft Pulse was saying. Like, give it a year or two.
Yeah. But for this year, I don't see it being Ashton Jeanty. I mean, it took what, 20? Nah, it took almost 40 years for us to see another Barry Sanders. Think about that.
Well,
like,
that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
almost like it was 40 years,
up,
man.
It's more so like I'm not saying he's going to put up like 2,000 rushing yards, but it's like, are we going to see something close to like 14 or 1,500 or like?
I mean, it all depends on how that passing game looks this year. Like,
I think Marion Hampton probably been the better comparison.
Well, I think Riley Leonard not being the quarterback definitely helps out your carry potential. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know. It's a great question. I just don't. From the touchdown perspective, maybe I don't see the yardage because they really have a 2-back system down there that I think they're going to continue to utilize. But I don't know, Khalid, what's your thoughts?
I think that Love's big playability makes him a very intriguing player this next season.
And again, that 13 like touchdown streak.
Yeah. And we saw him against Indiana in the playoffs, right? The very first playoff game in the 12-team playoff format. Jeremiah Love has like a 90-something yard touchdown run against Indiana, right, in South Bend. So we see consistently, like you said, with the touchdown streak, the knack to find the end zone for Jeremiah Love. He's quick. He can be used in the passing game. I think that Love will be one of the top running backs in the country this season. Obviously, I know you're not trying to say he's not going to be like Ashton Jeanty, right, like he was this season. But I think that people will view him as, one of the top backs. I think that's fair for Love and the expectations that he has, especially as Notre Dame seems to be rocking with C.J. Carr as the next quarterback in South Bend. You're going to rely on
he was a beast up there in Michigan, bro. He's from one of those Michigan high schools. I don't know why I started paying attention to him, but he's a beast. He's like 6'3", too. He's a big kid.
Yeah, I think that as you have a younger, relatively inexperienced quarterback, you're going to rely on your star running back to bail you out of situations, to get into rhythm as an offense in tough games, which Notre Dame will have plenty of this season. So he's going to be an integral part of this offense, and I'm sure that touchdown streak is only going to grow longer.
For sure. Well, what's our final thoughts on this, man? Yay or nay? Are we giving a thumbs up that he could be the next Ashton Jeanty? In the middle, unsure, thumbs down? Nah, I'm kind of like I'm kind of at an angle.
But
I'm at like a 45-degree, well, minus ignore the hitchhiker thumb, but like I'm at a 45-degree angle, like pointing down.
Hey, you too.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just And I'll just turn that bad boy into a right angle.
Shit just got weird.
Turn that bad boy into a right angle, and here you go.
Torque says CJ Carr definitely going to be able to lean on the run game for sure. I see some regression overall for Notre Dame this year, though. Bro, they lost a lot over the last 2 seasons, bro. I mean, this is where Marcus Freeman earns his money, though. You know what I'm saying? If he's able to turn them around, even with as much as what they've lost. Not turn them around because they were in a national championship. What I'm talking about. If he can stop the fall off from happening as deep as what we think, like if he comes out here in a 10-win season, I don't think any one of us would bat an eye at that. We'd be like, all right, they did what they're supposed to do. And they got the schedule to be pretty successful this year too. So.